Ralph Yarl was just 16 years old about 2 years ago when he went to a Kansas City home to pick up his twin brothers. After ringing the bell, gunfire suddenly erupted from inside. The teenager, who happened to be black, was struck in the head and arm and survived. As it turned out, Yarl was on the wrong street at the wrong home. And today, in a Kansas City courtroom, the homeowner who shot him, Andrew Lester, now 86 years old, pleaded guilty to second-degree assault. Joining us now is Ralph's mother, Cleo Nagby, and Ralph's aunt, Faith Spoonmore. Thank you both so much for your time and joining us. First and foremost, let's start with how Ralph is doing these days and what he's up to.
I was doing well. He's in college, second semester, and he's enjoying it. So outside of every now and then thinking about Kansas City and what it has to hold for him, he's doing okay.
All right, glad to hear that. And Andrew Lester's initial defense was that he was terrified and thought that Ralph was trying to break in. Of course, we know he was not. How much do you believe that race was a factor?
I strongly believe that race is a huge factor, and it's pretty sad that up to now the prosecutors still have not admitted that or even taken that into consideration, and he continues to go on with the narrative of no, it was not the case. Because if you were to flip the script and you make that person an older black man and a white kid, or even a white man and a white kid, the situation probably would not have even happened for simply ringing a doorbell. They probably would have given that kid the benefit of the doubt, you know? But because we have this stereotype of thinking that black kids are dangerous, that probably played a huge role in what happened to Ralph.
And Mr. Lester pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of second-degree assault instead of first degree and a charge of armed criminal action. Are you at peace with the plea deal?
We are not fully appeased with it, but it's something that we have to take right now because we are sick of this dragging on to where it has dragged on to. Mr. Lester knew that he was guilty about 2 years ago. We knew Mr. Lester was guilty. The courts and the public knew Mr. Lester was guilty. But we let Mr. Lester run the show. We let him do what he wanted to do and waited 2 years after for him to show up and say, oh, I'm going to plead guilty to the lesser of the charges. So we're sick of this. So let's just move on and give this kid a chance to move on with his life and live on as a regular kid.
I'm curious, has Mr. Lester ever reached out to you, perhaps to apologize?
Oh, he was defending himself. Why would he apologize?
So he never reached out?
No, he hasn't.
Would that make a difference?
No. Let me say something, Leah. I really doubt that this individual has any sympathy or anything about what he did. No. I don't think so. I think right now, the reason why this is happening is because he's hoping that the judge is going to see the current show that's being put on by him showing up in a wheelchair and go for the lesser time or less of consequences for his actions. I don't think this man feels sorry for what he did, because if you did, you would not have dragged it on this long.
Would an apology make a difference at this point?
No. Not for me.
How about for you, Mom?
No.
Okay. We know that he could be sentenced anywhere from 1 to 7 years in prison. Do you think it should be longer than that? If he got 1 year, how would you feel?
I will feel like it's a slap on the wrist because we have always said that this is not just about Ralph. Okay, so if he gets 1 year in prison, it's going to set a precedent out there that any old white dude could shoot a black kid and I would just get 1 year or less. So what's the point? Let me just shoot him.
How does Ralph feel about all this?
Oh, it took Ralph a long time to decide, should we agree to a plea deal or should we really go to trial? He had to consider what a trial will have on him being in school and consider what it would take if the jury was hung and all of that stuff for him to say, okay, let's just agree to this plea deal. It took him a long time to say, I'll agree to this.
Ms. Nagby, Ms. Spoonmore, we thank you so much for your time. Appreciate your thoughts and hearing from you. And we're wishing the best for Ralph and your entire family. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.